Welcome, everyone, to this service of remembrance, of scripture, of song, of reflection on this Good Friday. It's good to be with you, although digitally this morning, and there are many that we would like to thank who have helped to put this service together. Jim and Judy Zarubik, who are up in the balcony faithfully staffing the soundboard and the visual and making sure that we are live streamed. Stu Metzger, who takes care of the building. John Phillips, who takes care of the money that comes in, as well as Liz Dillman, who is our treasurer. The music with David Hamilton, who is on our keyboard. Sarah McKenzie, who puts the slide presentation together. And leading worship this morning, albeit Judy from the balcony, is Liz Dillman, Judy Zarubik, and myself. We use the screens a lot, so this is how you follow the slides. Whenever it's red print in bold, it's for the worship leader, either Liz or myself. Black print in bold is for everyone to read together, led by Judy Zarubik from the balcony. Let's try that out as we acknowledge the land on which we are privileged to gather.
For thousands of years, First Nations peoples have lived on this land and by these waters. This relationship is at the center of their lives and spirituality.
We are gathered as a non-Indigenous community of faith on the traditional territory of the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation and acknowledge their stewardship through the ages.
We seek to live together in respect, friendship, and peace.
Jesus calls us into the world to love one another as we are loved by God.
Let's join together as we gather, recognizing God's presence with us eternally, no matter what story we hear, no matter what story we live, as we prepare ourselves for worship.
Come at Jesus' invitation to follow the way of the cross.
We come once again, just like countless millions have followed you.
Come on this Good Friday, moving from last Sunday's hosannas to this day's horrors.
We come with the predictable ease of people who know not what we do.
Come to hear, to witness, to experience, to worship Jesus' self-giving love.
We come to pour perfume extravagantly for the one who sets us free.
Come to commune with God in prayer.
In all that we do, O Christ, we do as your disciples. Save us, then, from false familiarity with your journey. May we never presume to step into your shoes, making us content to follow your way by filling our own shoes, walking in wonder and in love as you lead. Amen.
Let's join together in the first hymn, Come and Find the Quiet Center.
You have it coming to you. You cannot wander across the countryside with a dozen vagrants, some of whom can't even speak properly, expecting to be followed. Your disciples, if you can call them that, are common. And you, with your stories of lost coins and runaway children, are far from sophisticated. People want a Messiah, not a former tradesperson. If you pretend to be one but are the other, you must take the consequences.
You had it coming to you. There is little time for playing the fool. There is a time for poking fun at what is serious in politics and in religion, but there is a line between street theater and indiscretion, which you obviously don't recognize. Riding on a donkey, with your starry-eyed followers throwing the shirts off their backs, laying a ragtag carpet in front of you, that is a mockery of the royal style that may be hilarious to drunkards, but not in the light of day during the most sacred week of the year. If you choose to do that, be prepared to suffer the consequences. Were you there when they called him clown and fool? Were you there when they called him clown and fool? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they called him clown and fool?
You have it coming to you. The police saw you. The priests saw you. The people saw you. And though they cheered, don't be deluded. When you rage, the temple is a house of prayer. Who could disagree? However, why scatter pigeons and coins all over the place? If it's sensationalism you're after, you certainly have flair. You might even say that people are more important than sparrows. Nevertheless, when holy doves flutter into the air in panic, and when money changers have their businesses vandalized, soon you'll discover what's really sacred.
Were you there when they called him Vandalfog? Were you there when they called him Vandalfog? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they called him Vandalfog? You had it coming to you. Our place of worship is not a laboratory for experiments. It's not a place to see how far you can go before you're stopped. People just want to sit still, to listen to the scriptures, to hear some preaching. They don't move, nor should they. Those who might disturb the congregation keep a low profile, avoiding attention. But you ask sick people to come forward into the limelight. When they come flaunting their withered arms and scrabby faces, it's like a freak show or like a circus has come to town. Healing? Certainly there is a place for healing, but not here. Definitely not here. You there when they called him clumsy fraud? Were you there when they called him clumsy fraud? Oh, sometimes it causes me
You had it coming to you. You are taking God into the marketplace without permission. You sit with the unemployed, pretending God is there. You kneel beside a prostitute, pretending God is there. You smile at occupying soldiers, faithless soldiers, pretending God loves them. You cannot sully God's reputation, taking God willy-nilly wherever you want. What really twists my shorts, though, is you cannot say God is here already. If you actually believe that nonsense, well, you have nothing to teach us, but we certainly have a lesson to teach you.
Were you there when they called him Sam and Faye? Were you there when they called him Scam and Faye? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they called him Scam and Fake? You have it coming to you, and I am going to make it happen. For 3 years I have watched you, listened to you, copied you, and I have never been let down by you. You had them eating out of your hand, rapt, devoted, ready, prepared to embrace something big. And what do you do every time? You chicken out, wandering in the hills to pray, slinking down the back alleys to eat, muttering to yourself, "It is enough, enough. There will be another time." Well, my friend, the time is just about here. I am your stage manager, and I have negotiated my fee. When this whole city's eyes are riveted upon you, show me what you're made of. Show me what you can do. Afterwards, in triumph, my 30 pieces of silver will buy us all a great feast, just for you and those of us who deserve your attention and power. Were you there when they called him Timid Wee? Were you there when they called him Timid Wee? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they called him Timid Wee?
You have it coming to you. You don't know it yet, but this wood is for you. As a carpenter, I know you could do lovely things with this wood. Turn it, dovetail it, sand it down. But we can't because we're not carpenters. We're not even joiners. We're just laborers, earning money any way we can. We've been told to mind our own business and to keep quiet. Without giving anything away, as a favor to you, especially if you really are who you say you are, we want to let you know this will be something really beautiful for the Son of God.
Were you there when they fashioned him a cross? Sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they fashioned him a cross?
Our Bible reading is from Mark chapter 14, verses 32 to 42. They went to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to his disciples, "Sit here while I pray." He took with him Peter and James and John, and began to be distressed and agitated. And he said to them, "I am deeply grieved, even to death. Remain here and keep awake." And going a little further, he threw himself on the ground and prayed that, if it were possible, the hour might pass from him. He said, "Abba, Father, for you all things are possible. Remove this cup from me, yet not what I want, but what you want." He came and found them sleeping. And he said to Peter, "Simon, are you asleep? Could you not keep awake for 1 hour? Keep awake and pray that you may not come into this time of trial. The spirit is indeed willing, but the flesh is weak." And again he went away and prayed, saying the same words. And once more he came and found them sleeping, for their eyes were very heavy, and they did not know what to say to him. He came a third time and said to them, "Are you still sleeping and taking your rest? Enough! The hour has come. The Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Get up, let us be going. See, my betrayer is at hand."
Go to dark Gethsemane, you that feel the tempter's power. Your Redeemer's conflict see. Watch with him one bitter hour. Turn not from his grief away. Learn from him to watch and pray.
You did not have it coming to you. I am that girl at the fire, and my name is Rachel. I work at the high priest's house, so I know everything about everybody. That's why I recognized Peter, because I'd seen him before with Jesus. But I never saw anything like what happened this morning. I arrived at my usual time, around 5 o'clock. I couldn't clean the main hall because it was packed, filled with shouting, gesturing, angry men, all of them there with Jesus, beaten yet silent among them. I know most of these men. They might call themselves leaders of the faith, but I know how scared they were inside, really scared. They were jealous of you because people listened to you. People followed you, loved you. You loved the poor, healed the sick, gave hope to the hopeless. All things they claimed were faithful, but never actually accomplished. I wish I had spoken up this morning, Jesus, shouting your innocence. I wish I had told them how you had healed my little sister. My fear, oh, my fear, it silenced me.
Now we'll read from Mark 15, verses 1 to 5 and 16 to 20. As soon as it was morning, the chief priest held a consultation with the elders and scribes and the whole council. They bound Jesus, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate. Pilate asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" And he answered, "You say so." Then the chief priests accused him of many things. Pilate again asked him, "Have you no answer? See how many charges they bring against you." But Jesus made no further reply, so that Pilate was amazed. Then the soldiers led him into the courtyard of the palace, that is the governor's headquarters, and they called together the whole cohort, and they clothed him in a purple cloak, and after twisting some thorns into a crown, they put it on him. And they began saluting him, "Hail, King of the Jews!" They struck his head with a reed, spat on him, and knelt down in homage to him. After mocking him, they stripped him of the purple coat and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him out to crucify him.
You did not have it coming to you. I am Simon, and I come from Cyrene. I was in Jerusalem traveling on business as a foreigner. Perhaps I would not have been asked to carry Jesus' cross if I didn't stand out so much. "You, boy, come here," they shouted, and I answered their orders. After all, what can a very black foreigner say in a crowd of locals? I really don't know what it was all about, but I've never seen such degrading cruelty. What did you do to make the crowds, and especially the authorities, hate you so? Most people said to me afterwards that you were a holy man, maybe even God's son. So why were the religious authorities so afraid of you? Why did the Romans consider you a threat? See him at the judgment hall, beaten, bound, reviled, arraigned. See him meekly bear it all, love to all his soul sustained. Shun not suffering, shame, or loss. Learn from Christ to bear the cross. They went out and followed him. Those who sat with him at the table, he led them to a garden where he prayed while they slept. Prayed while they slept. Prayed while they slept.
He was kissed, and because he was kissed, he was arrested. When he was arrested, his friends fled, some to go into hiding, one to stand beside a bonfire and say, "I never knew him. I never knew him. I never knew him."
He was brought before the religious authorities, accused of blasphemy, of threatening political insurrection, and of challenging their religious authority. Having no power to deal with him, they handed him over to the state governor. After listening to the accusations, the governor asked, "What have you to say? What have you to say? What have you to say?"
To which Jesus' response was silence. He had said and done it all. He was found innocent of all criminal charges, but his followers called him King of the Jews, and that was treason. To cover their motivations, they decided the bloodthirsty crowd would determine his fate. They did this by shouting, "Crucify him! Crucify him! Crucify him!" He was cursed and spat on, whipped and humiliated. On his shoulders a gift was placed, which he accepted with grace. Under the weight of that gift, that cross, he stumbled and fell, stumbled and fell, stumbled and fell, all the way to Calvary.
On top of the garbage dump, he was nailed to that cross and left to die. While soldiers gambled, critics joked, and religious leaders smiled with satisfaction. His mother watched and waited, watched and waited, watched and waited, until in the end she saw a sign of the beginning.
A reading from Mark chapter 15, verse 25 to 32. It was 9 o'clock in the morning when they crucified him. The inscription of the charge against him read, "The King of the Jews." And with him they crucified two bandits, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by derided him, shaking their heads and saying, "You who would destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself and come down from the cross." In the same way, the chief priests, along with the scribes, were also mocking him, among themselves saying, "He saved others, he cannot save himself. Let the Messiah, the King of Israel, come down from the cross now, so that we may see and believe." Those who were crucified with him also taunted him.
You did not have it coming to you. I'm Cato, the one who offered Jesus the vinegar. I just happened to be on execution duty that day. We all take our turn, and there are always lots of people to be crucified. There are so many who don't like the Roman peace the peace enforced by violence. None of us like it. You have to deal with women screaming, children bawling, and the odd drunk challenging the victim to a fight. Today was out of the ordinary, though. A lot of the crowd just kept quiet. Cursing and derision came loudly from the temple authorities. It seemed the important people, the ones who stay away from executions as a rule, they were the ones shouting vile abuse. And I have to admit, I considered joining in for fear they thought I was on his side. What can I say now? Jesus, I was only doing my job. You were framed. You shouldn't be on that cross. But I can't take you down by myself. I'm not my own boss, you know? Were you there when the sun refused to shine? Were you there when the sun refused to shine? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when the sun refused to shine? Were you there when they pierced him in the side? Were you there when they pierced him in the side? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they pierced him in the side?
I am Mary, his mother. When he was a baby, an old man told me that one day sorrow would pierce my heart like a sword. This is that day, and my heart breaks as I watch him. There he is, a man who put others before himself. My little boy, being put to death, tortured to death, before all the jeering crowd. What can I say? Jesus, when you were a boy, you once told me that you had to be about your Father's business. If this is your Father's business, and it has led you to this cross, may it soon be finished. And may God, who put you into my hands, now take you into divine healing arms.
His people since chastised, she beheld her Son despised, scourged and crowned with thorns entwined. Saw he then from judgment taken, and in death by all forsaken, till his spirit he resigned.
From Mark chapter 15, verses 33 to 41. When it was noon, darkness came over the whole land until 3 in the afternoon. At 3 o'clock, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, Eloi, Eloi, lema sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? When some of the bystanders heard it, they said, listen, he's calling for Elijah. And someone ran, filled a sponge with sour wine, put it on a stick, and gave it to him to drink, saying, "Wait, let's see whether Elijah will come to take him down." Then Jesus gave a loud cry and breathed his last. And the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. Now when the centurion who stood facing him saw that in this way he breathed his last, he said, "Truly this man was God's son." There were also women looking on from a distance. Among them were Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James the younger, and of Jose and Salome. These used to follow him and provide for him when he was in Galilee, and there were many other women who had come up with him to Jerusalem.
Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they laid him in the tomb?
May you see God's light on the path ahead when the road you walk is dark. May you always hear, even in your hour of sorrow, the gentle singing of the Lord. When times are hard, may heartless sinners turn your hearts to stone. May you always remember when the shadows fall, you do not walk alone. May you see God's light on the path ahead when the
So there it is, the ugly shape of beautiful wood, rough-hewn by human hands.
Lord, where are you now?
And there it is, a tight-shut tomb, borrowed grave, sealed with stone and silence.
Lord, where are you now?
And there it is, your broken body, shrouded in linen, clothed in defeat.
Lord, where are you now?
And somewhere stand your people, crying, though tired of crying, their eyes bloodshot and sore. They will not sleep tonight.
Lord, where are you now?
And out in the streets, the children have stopped their playing. The sound of their music has gone sour. Even the unlikely people fidget and wonder.
Lord, where are you now?
And here we are saying, if only, murmuring, surely not, counting the cost for once of our carelessness, of our lovelessness, and of our sin.
Lord, where are you now?
We are trying so hard to gain it all that we've bartered you away in a transaction. We have lost the one who found us.
Lord, where are you now?
With the Peters and the Marys of all time, we wait, for only you can tell whether we are worthy of your rising.
Lord, where are you now?
Let us leave as we disconnect in silence, contemplating this story.